The system is failing. We're going to have more homelessness, more unemployment, and the government has to print more money. It's a command and control economy where the government tells you everything. I just don't trust our government. And they're going to have to start printing pretty quickly. And the more they print, the less value, purchasing power the dollar has, or the loonie, or the yen, or the peso. People are talking about inflation. I think we're in depression right now, and we're going to be the biggest depression in world history.
In the 1970s, that's when the world was changing.
The biggest bust in the history of the world is coming up. It's pensions. They trusted the government. They trusted their pension would be there, and it's going to go bust. And that's us. We'd get crushed.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Bearable Bull here. And I got this aggressively average content for you today. As yet again, we see the market continuing to grind sideways. Oh, it's starting to tire out a lot of crypto investors. The Bitcoin and ETH maxis specifically are tired of the sideways price movements. However, me, as an altcoin savage, an altcoin investor, an altcoin assassin, I am getting extremely bullish right now and extremely excited. Markets only move in 3 directions. That's up, down, or sideways. We had gone down for 9 months straight. We had a massive capitulative moment with Terra, UST, Celsius, Voyager, bankruptcies, stablecoin depeggings, and other different things. And now, we've been trading sideways. In my personal opinion, the next option is to move up. Most people are still expecting the market to crash. The XRP community is seeing extreme strength when it comes to XRP and this case specifically. And in addition, we have blockchain backer posting that Bitcoin dominance is beginning to shift down. When Bitcoin dominance shifts down, that means altcoins are beginning to get more money, more strength, more momentum, and that's amazing. Now, something else that needs to be brought to all of your attention is how EU countries are being told they must be ready to block crypto mining. The European Union's executive arm also wants blockchains to show energy efficiency labels and to end crypto tax breaks. Guys, something that needs to be noted is that Europe is going through an energy crisis. The EU right now is trying to hold back on crypto mining because energy prices are soaring through the roof. Proof of work takes up too much energy. Proof of work does not work. And another example of that was how Bitcoin was halted. More specifically, Bitcoin was stopped for 85 minutes as it failed to produce a block for over an hour. That is not the future world reserve currency. That is not the future financial system. Bitcoin has failed as a payment system. But XRP, after this case is said and done, that will be the moment where we'll really see which one is going to serve a purpose. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe the XRP army has been unfairly treated. And even Eleanor Tourette stated that the SEC is hinting that as well. The SEC confirms our reporting from back in May. The SEC is seeing its highest attrition rate in 10 years. Most concerning is the attrition rate in senior officer and attorney positions, about 21% and 8.5%. For the fiscal year of 2022 respectively. SEC officials don't even respect Gary Gensler and what he's doing. And we had an interview recently with Tony from Thinking Crypto, discussing with someone who was formerly at the SEC, who left recently because of Gary. Some interesting hot takes. He stated the subpoenas are gonna fly to Gary Gensler. What we've heard is that there's staff at the SEC that are using apps like Signal and WhatsApp to try and keep their communications private. J.W. Verrett, a blockchain law professor, was formerly at the SEC and left. He does not have nice things to say. And the reason is because of the blatant corruption at the SEC. Oh, Gary, why'd you have to pick on Ripple? You have awakened the silent beast that is the XRP army. And even people that used to be for you understand how corrupt you are. I am all for privacy when it comes to people talking. However, when you take US tax dollars and are being paid to be a public servant, that privacy goes out the window and you answer to us. I wonder what they're trying to hide. But once you listen to this, you know that what they're doing is completely illegal. Something's gonna give, and I want you to hear this.
Let me tell you, the subpoenas are going to fly over to Gary Gensler. So he needs to be ready for that. And hopefully that will keep some of the excesses that we've seen at the SEC in check.
Yeah, interesting point you bring up, because I interviewed Congressman Tom Emmer multiple times, and he gave a kind of a famous line, I believe a month or two ago, where he said a new day is coming, and he was talking to the SEC enforcement director, and kind of alluding to potentially Republicans, winning the midterms. And then he said having the gavel, they will have the gavel in their hands to then keep regulators like Gary Gensler in check.
Yeah, and there's a few things they can do. One is oversight, subpoenas of emails and such. Unfortunately, what we've heard is that there are staff at the SEC that are using apps like Signal and WhatsApp, like we do, to try to keep our communications private. They're doing the same thing to keep them private from congressional oversight. Now, if they're doing that from a just government ethics and oversight perspective, it's illegal. So hopefully, in that context, and I feel a lot more comfortable with you and me using Signal and WhatsApp to maintain our privacy than I do someone in a government position who should be accountable to the public. But we might see that issue come up in oversight. Another thing that they can do on the Hill is to insert appropriations riders, and we've already seen Mr. McHenry float an appropriations rider to limit the SEC from adopting the new rule that attacks DeFi. It would require all DeFi, all DEXs to register essentially with the SEC in a way that violates freedom of speech, as Coin Center's letter has made the case. So we'll probably see a lot of that next year.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, that is absolutely enormous. We might see subpoenas fly. And something important that they mention is how Tom Emmer stated after the elections there could be a lot of changes when it comes to the crypto space and legislation. Something I remember vividly is Kevin O'Leary stating, nothing serious as far as crypto regulation and legislation is going to pass until after midterm elections. And if that's the case, we are extremely close to that happening. Ladies and gentlemen, I know how frustrated some people are. We all want it to happen right away. But something I have to remind all of you is that enough time has gone by to where it seems like we're finally going to get our moment, our regulations, and our utility. Utility and adoption are what are going to drive the majority of price action and value in the future. However, we are in the pre-regulation phase. Trillions of dollars worth of capital will come in after regulations. Many cryptos will die and never come back. But the ones that survive will create multi-millionaires and generational wealth. Something else that I want to remind all of you about is that the Flare network and the Flare airdrop window is fast approaching. Within the next couple weeks, we will finally get our Spark tokens. And the greatest passive income opportunity us in the XRP community could ever experience is about to take place. I find the fact that in the next couple weeks, the fact that the Flare network is going live is no coincidence. We've heard speculation from Jeremy Hogan as to a potential date within the next couple weeks in November that this lawsuit could settle. And the reason I keep bringing this up is because this is not coincidental, this is synchronistic. The people in the know, they know when everything needs to go. In addition, within the exact same timeline, XLS20 for native NFT support has begun its voting, and it looks like it's going to pass by Halloween. This is incredible. This is yet another massive catalyst for XRP price action. And these next couple weeks are a powerful potential window with NFTs flare any potential settlement day for XRP to thrive. We still have to see what happens next, but things are beginning to build up behind the dam of XRP's price action that will blow. We will see a blow off the top moment, and I do believe regulatory compliant and utility tokens will thrive.
In addition to having people come in and talk to the SEC or enforcement actions, how else can you make it clear that, okay, here are the types of tokens that don't fall within our purview? There's so much confusion.
Rena, I just don't accept it. Not liking the answer is not the same as not knowing the answer. And you teach at Georgetown. You've got great students. I mean, you ask them. Wait, when you look, ask for a show of hands, even in that audience. Is there anybody in the audience that is working with a crypto token project? I'm not going to take names. I'm not going to, right? And do you have a legal contract with them? Do you have an engagement with them? And the answer is going to be generally yes, because you probably aren't working pro bono, and there's some group of entrepreneurs that has signed that contract. This isn't that confusing, actually. It's pretty straightforward, but people are trying to paper over it, and there's frankly a lot of non-compliance. People are trying to sort of say, well, I set it up in a foundation, or I set it up in another jurisdiction, usually overseas, or I airdropped a few tokens here, but kept most of the tokens myself. But there's a group of entrepreneurs, there's a group of developers in the middle. The hand I saw in the audience, we won't take the name down, probably has a client, and there's somebody there that ought to be thinking, all right, in the US, people are investing based on anticipating a profit and based on our efforts.
Now, despite the fact that I am getting more and more bullish every single day on compliant cryptos, we need to take a look at what Gary Gensler is saying. From Wheezy, he states John Deaton warned everyone. Jeremy Hogan did as well. This sounds like he may target Ethereum next. If Gary Gensler, due to the Ethereum merge, begins to target Ether, the entire Ethereum ecosystem could be under threat. Despite the fact that I believe Ether will succeed and I'm bullish on it in the long term. With the recent merge and the recent increase in centralization, I believe some scrutiny may come to Ethereum from the SEC. I remember back about 2 years ago, Jeremy Hogan stated, it's actually a great thing that Ripple and XRP are going through this lawsuit now, because there will be a moment where XRP will begin to be cleared or be officially cleared, and then the SEC is going to come after everyone else. We're beginning to see the SEC come after everyone else. And the reason I believe a settlement is so possible and really on the table is because I think Gary is power hungry. He wants jurisdiction over other cryptos, and I believe he understands how bad this lawsuit against Ripple has made them look and how unfavorable a ruling could come for them. We have a window, whether it's early November or 3 to 4 months like Brad Garlinghouse stated. That's besides the point. This XRP case is almost over, and the XRP price is beginning to rev its engine. Something I need to tell all of you is I expect quant-like growth for XRP once the price finally takes off. Quant is one of those extremely compliant cryptos that has been on a surge recently with extreme price action, extreme strength, even during a bear market. It's because they're working with the system, with the banks, on interoperability, and for all tides to rise together. XRP is looking to do the same thing as well. And investing in tokens like XRP Quant, HBAR Hedera, Stellar IOTA, XDC, and others. That will be your one-way ticket to the upper echelons of tax brackets. And I believe that moment for all of us is about to arrive. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Bearable Bull here. Thanks for tuning in. As always, I appreciate every single one of you. And I'm going to leave you with this clip from the Quant CEO Gilbert talking about the massive moves Quant is making and is still left to do. I'm bringing this up to all of you so that everyone understands how much compliant cryptos that are going to work with the system will run. And we're beginning to see the moments where the pivot away from Bitcoin and Ether to the rest of the crypto market is about to occur. Now guys, I'll be back tomorrow with another video.
Very close to enterprises engaging with blockchain, but is like, how big is the market at the moment already? And what's your feeling about enterprise blockchain?
I think enterprise blockchain is the biggest market you can actually go after. If you look at one of the HSBC reports from last year, they looked at what does digital assets look like by 2027, and it's in the trillions. You know, they're looking at a huge number because the number of tokenization that is happening. You know, you take a traditional security, you tokenize it, you make it a digital asset, then you have payments, and then you have settlement, and then delivery reverse payment of digital assets. Enterprise is where the market is. On the large scale, what's happening is entire systems are transforming and replatforming and re-architecting to be compatible to decentralization. They're not turning off what they've got and putting everything on blockchain. It does not work like that for enterprise. They've invested tens and billions of dollars and pounds into their infrastructure, and that evolution over the last 10, 20 years, you can't stop that and start again on blockchain. But what you do is you take that existing investment into core infrastructure that enterprise have, and you make it and integrate it into blockchain and make it compatible to DLT. And that's what we're doing. Our core is to show how easy it is to integrate, through our API, whatever you've got that's existing, to be able to talk to different digital assets and blockchains and transact across them. It's a huge market, and we're excited because it's just at the beginning. We're only getting started, and the adoption is happening.